It's hard to imagine what it must be like growing up as an adopted child. While every story is unique, some studies suggest that adopted children often have increased behavioral and self-esteem challenges compared to kids raised by both biological parents. So how did Aaron Judge defy those odds and rise to become the MVP of Major League Baseball? Aaron's story isn't some neat, predictable tale of success. It's a wild mix of fate, grit, and an inspiring ascent to the top. Born on April 26, 1992, he was placed for adoption right after birth. Patty and Wayne Judge, two educators, took him in, raised him, and set the foundation for something spectacular. His parents were average-sized, but Aaron grew into something much larger, something that made people take a second look. Even as a kid, he towered over his family. His height, his frame, his sheer physicality, it was impossible to ignore. By the time he was 10, the difference in his race and size were too obvious to brush aside. His parents sat him down and told him the truth, that he was adopted. They didn't sugarcoat it, but they also didn't make it seem like it changed a thing. And for Aaron, it didn't. He had always received love, support, and structure from Patty and Wayne. Did the revelation shake him? Not even a little. If anything, it made him even more grateful for the life they gave him. There was no resentment, no burning curiosity that made him look for his biological parents. His family was right in front of him, shaping him into a powerhouse, and that's all that mattered. He had no intention of searching for something that wasn't missing. He was quoted saying, "I have one set of parents, the ones that raised me. That's how it is." Aaron wasn't just big, he was built for competition. He dominated every sport he touched at Linden High School, and that's not an exaggeration. Baseball? He was an incredible pitcher and first baseman. His senior year, he hit .500 with 7 home runs and 32 RBIs. Football? A nightmare for defenses, racking up 17 touchdowns and almost 1,000 yards in a single season. He used his towering height and raw athleticism to bulldoze his way past defenders. Basketball? A double-double machine, averaging 18 points and 13 rebounds per game. Impossible to contain under the rim. He was named to the California All-State team as a senior. His presence was undeniable. There was no escaping his dominance on the playing field. He was the kind of athlete that other players hated going up against because he made everything look effortless. Colleges lined up with offers, throwing scholarships his way, eager to claim his talent. Schools like Notre Dame, Stanford, and UCLA wanted him in their football programs as a tight end. But Aaron had one game in his mind: baseball. It wasn't an easy choice, but it was the right one for him. He turned down powerhouse football programs, walking away from what could have been an equally legendary career on the gridiron. He also turned down going pro in baseball out of high school, as he was drafted in the 31st round of the 2010 draft. Instead, he chose to refine his baseball skills at Fresno State. There, he turned heads, proving he wasn't just a raw athlete, he was a force. 3 straight years of all-conference first-team honors put him high on the radar of MLB scouts. He made it clear that he wasn't just passing through, he had the makings of becoming an MLB All-Star. In 2013, the Yankees picked him 32nd overall in the draft. That moment was the beginning of something bigger. It was the point where everything started shifting towards a career that would make history. Minor league baseball is brutal. A relentless grind that chews up promising talent and spits out those that aren't cut out for the long haul. Aaron handled it like a man on a mission, refusing to let setbacks define him. He crushed it in Class A ball and worked his way up through the ranks, and by 2016 he was tearing up AAA. There was no ignoring what he was doing. At this point, the Yankees couldn't wait any longer. On August 13th, 2016, he got the call. And this was no ordinary debut. It was a statement. His first MLB game was one for the history books. First at bat, first swing, boom, a home run. And it wasn't one of those 315-foot home runs to right field you see at Yankee Stadium. It was a 446-foot bomb to dead center. The kind of home run that made Yankee fans quickly realize this kid was special. He and teammate Tyler Austin made history by going back-to-back in their first big league appearances, something that had never been done before. But things only got better from here for Judge. His rookie year in 2017 was one for the history books, a year no one could have predicted. He led the league with 52 home runs, leaving Mark McGwire's old rookie record of 49 bombs in the dust. The baseball world stood still every time he stepped up to the plate. When it was all said and done, winning Rookie of the Year and finishing second in MVP voting was no surprise. Then, As if he had to prove that there were no limits to his talent, he dominated the home run derby, making history as the first rookie to win it outright. He quickly became the face of Major League Baseball. But no one is invincible, and Judge faced a number of challenges over the next few seasons. Baseball has a way of humbling even the best. The next 3 seasons tested his resilience. Injuries became a frustrating obstacle, forcing him to miss almost 150 games over the next 3 seasons. Each absence left Yankee fans wondering what could have been if their superstar had been fully healthy. But when he was on the field, he was still a force of nature. Pitchers had no answers for him. The Yankees lineup felt untouchable when he was in it. Then came 2022, a season that rewrote the history books and cemented his place among baseball's greats. 62 home runs, the most home runs in a single season by an American League player. He broke fellow Yankee Roger Maris's record of 61 homers back in 1961. That wasn't just breaking a record, it was carrying the weight of history on his shoulders. He was the face of baseball. The world held their breath every time he stepped up to the plate, knowing they were watching something rare, something unforgettable. Yankee fans filled stadiums with their wigs and "All Rise" signs, just to get a glimpse of history. In dramatic fashion, Judge was stuck at 60 home runs for 7 games before blasting number 61. Then, he went homerless for another 5 games before breaking the record just in the nick of time during Game 161 of the 162-game season. And of course, his mom was there in the stands to cheer him on for homers number 61 and 62. When Judge got his 61st home run ball back, he promptly gave it to his mom and stated to reporters after the game, "Having my mom here, it's important. She's been with me through it all, that's for sure." The 2022 MVP award was a lock, and with that title came a new level of expectation. Every great player has their moment, but staying great is what defines a career. After a season like that, the Yankees weren't about to risk losing their franchise cornerstone. In December 2022, they made their intentions clear. 9 years, $360 million. It was more than a contract, it was a statement. They weren't just paying for the home runs, the defense, or the numbers he put up year after year. They were paying for the leader he had become, the face of the franchise, the player who embodied everything the Yankees stood for. And to make it official, they named him captain. Just the 16th in the team's storied history, a title held by legends, by icons, by players who left a permanent mark on the game. And now, Aaron Judge was officially one of them. But baseball wasn't the only place where his influence was felt. In 2018, he took his passion for leadership and channeled it into something greater. The All Rise Foundation. Not just a charity with his name attached to it, but a real effort to make a difference in kids' lives. It wasn't about writing checks and taking pictures, it was about action. Baseball camps, academic programs, leadership training, giving kids in California and New York real opportunities to grow, learn, and chase their dreams. Thousands have been impacted, and the work continues. That's the kind of legacy that lasts well beyond the final time he wears the famous pinstripes. While his career was reaching new heights, his personal life was following its own path. In December 2021, he married Samantha Braxique, his high school sweetheart. A love story that started long before the fame, the money, or the MVP awards. Then, in January of 2025, their daughter, Nora Rose, was born. For a man who had always valued family, who had spoken about the impact of his parents in his life, becoming a father was another defining moment. The lessons he learned from his own upbringing are now being passed down, shaping the next generation in his own home. As the 2024 season unfolded, another milestone was waiting. Career home run number 300. No player had ever reached that mark faster than he did, doing it in just 955 games. It wasn't just another number to add to his stats, it was another reminder that he was playing at a level few ever reached. Could he chase Barry Bonds' all-time record of 762 home runs? A record that many believe is untouchable. It would take years of elite production, good health, and a level of determination few possess. But if anyone could make the baseball world believe, it's Aaron Judge. His 2024 season was almost unbeatable. Another MVP award, leading the league with 58 home runs and 133 RBIs. And if it wasn't for Bobby Witt Jr.'s breakout year, we could be looking at only the second Triple Crown winner in the last 50 years. Judge helped carry the Yankees to their first World Series appearance in 15 years, but his numbers in the World Series were underwhelming by his standards. With that said, it's hard to imagine the team would have made it that far without him. Will he eventually be able to bring a title back to the Bronx once again, and accomplish his greatest feat yet? Aaron Judge isn't just known for his records. What truly makes him stand out is the way he carries himself, the way he earns respect from his teammates, his coaches, and everyone in the baseball world. He doesn't just step onto the field and play, he changes the game itself. His presence makes his team stronger, not just because of his skill, but because of his leadership. And what's remarkable is that he never seeks attention for it. He doesn't need to. His actions speak louder than anything he could say. His story isn't finished, not even close, and that's what makes it exciting. Where will his journey take him next? How far can he push the limits of what's possible? From the moment he was adopted as a baby, he was given a loving home and a chance to dream big. He didn't just become a baseball player, he became the face of the most historic team in the sport. But his impact goes beyond baseball. He's a leader, a symbol of what happens when talent meets discipline, when hard work meets determination. He doesn't just want to be great, he wants to be remembered among the greatest of all time. Speaking of Yankee sluggers, this player could also join a historic club of home run hitters, but he's been plagued by injuries, making his future uncertain. Does he have enough in the tank to reach 500 career home runs? Watch this video to find out what went wrong and if he can find a way to resurrect his career.